This week, I want to tell you about the client who will lose their mind if you lose the subject while you're on surveillance, and something you can do to help mitigate that. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. There are a lot of different types of clients out there. I'm going to break them down into basically two categories for today's explanation. One are your repeat clients that use you over and over again. Usually those are businesses like law firms, human resources departments, workers' compensation companies. And then the other type of client would be the ones, like sometimes I call them onesie twosies, people that come to you off the street. They usually just hire you one time, maybe to find out if a boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating, something like that. The type of client that you have that will lose their mind if you lose your subject are those second types, the onesie twosies. And this happens for two reasons. One of those clients is because there's the amount of money involved. They've finally got together the money. Money they really couldn't afford to lose. They wouldn't normally spend it. And when you come to them after sitting on a person for 2 or 3 hours and then they leave the house and you lose them right at the first traffic light, the client is going to be very unhappy about whatever that cost them, even though nothing came of it. It could be a couple $100, it could be more. And so the client is going to lose their mind, be very, very unhappy because of the dollars involved in this. The other type of onesie twosie client, the person that comes to you off the street who's going to be very unhappy about if you lose your subject on surveillance, is going to be the person who believes this was the time. It wasn't about the money for them, but they were certain that today this was either the only chance, this was the one shot we had to catch him, or this is the one where he did what he was supposed to do. So I can tell you a case experience from that I've done, following a guy after work, and I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Every day I'm following this guy as he leaves work, and he's doing nothing wrong. He's maybe stopping by a bar or not doing anything wrong there, and she knows that's what he told her he would do, or he's going to a sports store or bowling after work or something like that. And he's doing exactly what he says he's doing, and I get this for 5 days in a row. On a Tuesday, I lose him when he leaves work. And the client is convinced that this random Tuesday, after all these days of being a good boy, this must have been the one, and was unhappy, of course, to pay for 5 days of surveillance, 4 or 5 days of surveillance, only to find that on this day that I lost the subject. Now I can tell you, as a reasonable person who's done this a lot, the guy was not cheating. He was doing everything he said he was supposed to be doing. Why she wanted to continue this is beyond me. But she was convinced, and she was convinced that the one time that I lost him was the one time he would cheat. Forget the fact that she was confident initially that this would be a quick and easy thing, that Friday night, he's going to go out, or Saturday for sure. Every day she thought was the day, but then when you lose the client, that's the one that they know, and it's your fault in their eyes. So there's a client that will lose their mind when you lose the subject. The difference between these business clients and these onesie twosies off the street, the business clients that use you regularly and understand this stuff, is the expectations that they have. They understand sometimes you lose people. They understand that sometimes the footage that you bring back at night is going to be dark or grainy. They understand all of these things. What you want to do is translate that as best you can into your onesie twosie clients, the ones that come to you off the street. And the key here's the tip: set and manage the expectations of the client who comes to you off the street. They have spent a lifetime watching private investigators in the movies and on TV, and nowadays even surveillance footage online, and they don't understand that so much of that is not real. Clearly the TV is fiction. It's a story that's being told. The movies, you're watching something that cost $100 million to make. It took a year and a half, hundreds of people. Everything about that, from the lighting to where people are, the blocking, where they stand, it's all perfect in the movies. If And online, even more so now, they tend to believe that the surveillance footage they see online is true, and it's not. There's a lot of fake surveillance footage online that investigators put up. They've got their own reasons for one reason or another, but clients begin to expect this really good footage from every case every time. That's their expectation. You, before you take a dime from them, before they even hire you, have to set that reasonable expectation and explain to them some of the things that can go wrong, and don't just sweep it under the rug or say sometimes this happens. Tell them, hey, this does happen sometimes, and this may be the result you get. If you want to move forward, then I'm your investigator. If not, I can maybe recommend somebody to you, or I hope you find somebody that's good for you. There's the tip for today. If you've got anything about crazy clients, be sure to drop it in the comments below, and share it with everybody. You know, the types of things that you've seen people lose their minds for and how you handled it. This is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.